how to build the Crush It budget. Are you sick and tired of being in debt? Are you sick and tired of not having extra cash? And do you want to be rich? Well, I got the answer. Many Americans don't budget. They don't have anything written down. They have no plans. They don't have any goals written down. And that is why they're in the spot that they're in. Actually, I started writing down a budget about, well, let me go. That's a lot of math. 1999. It was when I got serious about my relationship with my girlfriend and said, it's time to get married. Well, we needed a written budget because that was it. We were combining our money and we needed to write something down and we needed some agreements. And we came up with a budget that really worked for us. And it built up this pay yourself first kind of methodology. And I want to share that with you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share this with you today. This is our budget. I put a little bit of color. Yours doesn't have to have any color, but if you want, I'm going to have the editor throw it up right now. Okay, somewhere. And I want you to snip it and use it. Or you can just copy down everything. We're going to go over it and I'm going to explain why there are some things in here and there's some things I left out. I know it sounds crazy, huh? So first off, the most important thing about a budget is that you have how much you make. You've got to write down all of the different revenue streams. Hopefully you got more than one. If you just have one job, that's okay. You need to write that at the top. And what you need to do is not write the before taxes number. You need to find out the real number. After all the money's taken out, I want you to write that at the top. Now, household necessities in this chart are green. And the reason why they're green is because this is stuff that you've got to spend money on no matter what. And you'll notice that I have two lines, two columns. One is an estimate and one is the actual. Because sometimes you just don't know what you're going to be spending on food. You have a good idea, so you're going to estimate that. You know exactly what you're going to be paying in rent, right? It's a fixed rate, or your house payment, it's a fixed rate. Hopefully, you're not an adjustable rate mortgage. But my point being is some things are fixed and some things aren't. They have variables. So what I want you to do is estimate, write down under rent or mortgage, electricity, gas, water. I want you to come up with your best guess and push it a little bit. All right, push it up a little bit. Like if you're pretty sure that your water bill is about $60 a month, then you know what? Factor in, estimate $75, okay? And then you can write your actual in that month. Now, another thing that's really important about your budget that I left off of this is have a spot not only for how much you bring in per month, but also have the date, the month. This is a monthly budget. The reason why is because when you're writing all of these actual numbers, it's neat to be able to go back when you file these away each month, when you're done with it, go back and view the previous year and get seasonality adjustments. The reason why I say that is because gas and electric, you may spend more trying to heat your home in this winter with gas, and you may spend more electricity trying to cool your home during the summer with the air conditioning. So you want to be able to look back on seasonal changes of how much you actually spent on that. Now, after you've put all of those things in the necessities, you have your total at the bottom. You have your actual and your total, right? Now, let's move on to the yellow. Now, these are needs with variable costs. These are items like groceries, household items, small repairs, medical and health needs. Now, groceries, we're always going to spend money on food, right? Because we need to eat. Household items and these other things like small repairs and health and medical needs, sometimes they can be pushed off. So what you do is you factor in your estimates and then how much you want to budget for that amount. Auto repairs and auto insurance are one of those things that you have to do. You have to fix your car when it breaks down. You have to keep it running. You have to do scheduled maintenance like oil changes, coolant changes, things like that. But this is yet one more great way to watch and track everything you're doing. Now, the red section, this is non-essentials, okay? Non-essentials, you don't need them, but it's very important you track them. Why? Because after doing this for 12 months, you have a record that you can go back and see where you've been spending your money and where you can cut the fat. As a matter of fact, it is a proven fact that when budgeting, most people, as they write things down, it actually does something and changes the way they think about, ooh, should I really be spending that money on that? It's a big difference when you just sign up for Netflix and Hulu and all these different accounts, right? It's another thing when you start writing them down and adding them up to how much they come up to, that's a big change. And it isn't until somebody writes it down, they visualize it and they go, what did I get myself into? That they usually take that time then to correct that situation, okay? So these non-essentials are clothing. Now I get it. Everybody needs clothes. Some of us shouldn't be running around naked. I'm one of them. But my point being is that what type of clothes? You know, we all need clothes to survive and stay warm and be very fashionable, but how fashionable do you really need to be? I mean, honestly, when you start to write down how much you've shopped. I'll give you an example. I know people, and I myself have shopped at thrift stores and buy and wear things at thrift stores all the time. As a matter of fact, I go thrift storing, and it blows me away when people buy new things, probably because they don't fit in them in the beginning. I've been guilty of that. And they finally go, I'm never going to fit into this, and I'll give it to the thrift store. And it still has the tags. It's never been worn, right? So that's a great example of non-essentials. You know, if you don't need a Louis Vuitton bag. I mean, I guarantee you some people will argue that. But my point being is that nobody really needs it, right? So as you write these things down, you can budget for them, but then also writing down how much you've actually spent on those non-essentials. Personal care. You know, it's the big change between, you know, what kind of shampoo are you going to use? The really high expensive stuff or the cheap stuff? My point being is I'm not asking you to bend over backwards to save money, but writing these things down will really start to show you where you can save money. All right. Cable, satellite, and streaming. This is where so many people get caught up in the rat race and they can never get themselves out because they have debt that they can't repay. And in all reality, they don't even realize that some of those things that are hitting their credit cards are things they don't need, like monthly subscriptions to YouTube. Is that, I don't know. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. But my point being is that how many of us have multiple things that we've signed up for, charging $5, $6, maybe $10 a month, like streaming services, that we don't need all those things. So go through that, flesh that out. Dining out and entertainment. It's very important that you budget for this because you do need to enjoy life and treat yourself. However, that is all. You need to sort of take that with a grain of salt. More people go into debt by impressing other people that they don't even really respect, or those people don't respect them. In all reality, you don't need to be going out and living a lavish lifestyle until you get your debt paid off and you start getting your money to make you money. And that's what we want to do, is we want your money to make you money. Hey, real quick, just another thought. If you want this in hard copy, you don't have to, please, as the editor puts it up, just snip it and print it off yourself. But there is a course that I did develop. I think there's a special running on it. It's $39.50 or $38.50. I don't remember. The link's going to be down below. But it's a series of videos with a bunch of downloads, this one being included, downloadable forms and documents for you to get out of debt, build your plan right now so you can start growing wealth. That's down below. Now, again, going into non-essentials, something that's really important. You notice that I put credit card payment 1 and 2. That's because people have multiple credit cards. And it's really exciting once you get these off and these payments done, it's paid for, to be able to cross that out. Now, this is just an example of a budget, but you could use all of these lines in your own budget. I just wanted to give you something that you could go with and think about moving forward. Sports and recreation and subscriptions, another couple things that you can start to cut out the fat. Memberships, and then car payments. Again, it's really neat to write these down, how much is owed on them, and then being able to cross them off after you pay them off. And then obviously you have the totals. Now you take all of these totals, and remember, those totals should be less than your take-home pay. The other thing that's very important, that's another form that's on that debt course, it's setting money aside for savings and building not only a savings account, but a car blow-up account. These are very, very important. And that brings us back to where I started this video, a concept called paying yourself first. When you set up a budget, I want you to set a goal of how much you want to save. Even if it's $25 a month, put that at the top. Say, my goal is to save $25 a month. And what I want you to do is when you get your paycheck and you have your take-home pay and you write it at the top of your budget, I want you to say, the first thing I'm doing is I'm taking $25 out of my paycheck and I'm putting it in my savings account. And I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it for any of these things. That's called paying yourself first. And then at the end of the month, at the end of your budget, if you're $25 short, you go figure it out and you go find out how to go get it. Because the easy way out is to go instantly go grab it out of your bank account and pay off a debt, or to go and put that extra $25 on a credit card. That's the easy way. Look, it's not easy getting out of debt, but I can guarantee you this: once you dig yourself out, you are less likely to ever go back, because not only was it hard work, but you understand how satisfying it is to be out of debt. Listen, if you're watching this video and you're already out of debt, please give some great ideas and comments to the people that are looking to get out of debt. And hey, hit the thumbs up. Even if you are out of debt, hit the thumbs up and support this video so it gets out to the masses that are in debt, because this is your year. If you're in debt and you're done with it, I believe in you, and this is your year to absolutely crush it. So with that being said, looks like this video is one for the archives.